Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
What will we look like to the people who didn't ascend? Sorry, I'm playing with magnets here. I shouldn't be doing it. What will we look like to the people who didn't ascend? Are we considered dead in their reality, or do we just physically disappear in their reality? Or a shell version of us remains there in their reality?
Now, that's a really good question. I mean, they're all good. That one's really different. It has always been my understanding that third density, as we know it, was going to implode, as if not there. Now, do I have a timeline on that? No, I don't. So whatever opinion I'm giving you is my own opinion. Just so we know, okay? And I'm basing it on everything that I've been taught and have heard and experienced. Those of us that transition from third to fourth, my understanding is that sometimes you can come back and visit in your spiritual body. And to them, you might look like a ghost, or you might look like an angel. Or if you're in lower fourth and you're a shithead and a douchebag, you're going to look like a demonic spirit. Okay? Hopefully that's none of us. There's already a lot of garbage there. And from what I understand, it's pretty crowded. Now we're already transitioning. We're already transitioning up into fourth, which leads me to something else, which I'll cover in a sec. I don't think that a resonant part of ourselves will remain here. I think you're either in or you're out. It's pretty much how a lot of things are working right now. Because whatever this is, the Earth experiment, this whole thing, a decision has been made somewhere that it's done, it's over. Because the Earth herself is doing the transitioning, all right? So she's not going to be in this neighborhood either, from what I understand. And I've heard all the talk about two Earths. My understanding is that the planet is not leaving an echo anywhere. She's moving out. And to leave a portion of herself here would be an echo. At least that's how it was presented to me. So, assuming there's no echo, there's no planet. That means everybody goes somewhere else or they start over. Somewhere else, or as something else. The decision to end this particular experiment on Earth, or whatever you want to call it, really has to do with the fact that there's a cancer here. And this cancer is multidimensional, and the only way to literally cure it, to end it, so that they can continue to move on and evolve at some point on their own, because even them at some point knew God or had light, is to just stop feeding them, just to stop feeding them and giving them nothing. That creates, on some level within them, the dark side, a reality check. That creates a conundrum of which now they literally have nothing to see outside of themselves. All they have is themselves to look at. I see the wisdom of it, ultimately. So, for whatever brief time it is as we're passing through, we will either look like a ghost to them or an angel or something ugly. Now, as we are literally moving into fourth density, lower fourth density has a lot of garbage, a lot of dark beings, twisted, hateful, sorrowful, vengeful, vindictive souls who haven't dealt with their shit. I don't know how else to say it. Those entities are and can attach to people here and begin to feed off of them. A lot of that is done out of desperation because on some level, I think they realize that their consciousness may be dying or their space is dying. Something is going on in that arena where they are now. And they are looking for a way out. They're trying to escape. And they can attach to people. Some people would call it a demonic possession, a spiritual attachment. This has been known for quite some time. There is a lot of that going on, especially with people who are alcoholics, who are drug addicts. Many of the mental psychoses we see in today's world are the result of attachments. And of course, psychology is looking at this completely wrong because they're looking at it as if it's an issue of the brain, when in fact it's a spiritual issue. But they have this thing against God as well. So that's going to be leaving anyway. So you see, there's a lot of things that need to be corrected. There are a lot of paradigms that have been created in our holograph that need to be just blown up because they're not real at all. And they've only compounded the problems. So, because their original conception was designed to separate us from God, from our soul. Okay? That was the original intent in creating these classifications. It's a lot. It's a lot. But you guys are going to figure it out. It's in the next 10, 15 years, we're going to experience probably 1,000 years of evolution. It's going to be remarkable. And knowing the history piece is really, really important. It's really important because it'll put a lot of things into perspective so that when it's really time to let it go and jump with both feet and trust. I'm sorry, the beard itches a lot. When it's time to transition and move forward, we will do so without any reservation and without wanting to look back. So we will move into our future, grasp our future, and wholeheartedly commit to creating our future for ourselves and humanity. So there's a lot. There's a lot to this. It's complicated. It's really complicated.
Have the A's said anything about how other galactic civilizations have handled transitioning from a similar situation as we're currently facing here on Earth to become a free and responsible member of galactic society? It seems our industries like financial, pharmaceuticals, energy would have to fundamentally change, and there is so much corruption in our institutions. Thank you, from Kay.
A good question, Kay. In one particular conversation that I had with Mornay, he talked about how some of his people, some of the Andromedan race, some of their people were having a very difficult time with their own transition from 5 to 6. And they were perplexed at how they themselves were going to make the transition because it's so different. And what was helping them was the mentoring of those currently on 6 and 7 coming down and mentoring them as to how the process works and what it is that they could expect. We haven't been given that opportunity because of the quote unquote corruption, quote unquote religions, quote unquote deep state, reptilian, the Orion model that has entrapped so many star systems. As that's all fading away and collapsing on its own ineptitude or denial, probably denial is a better word, their own denial of creator, as that's collapsing, nature hates a void. So that void will be filled with knowledge. And that knowledge could come in many different ways. It may come with a reintroduction of humanity to our star family, those who helped seed us here. It could come from boots on the ground that are here assisting the White Hats to eliminate all of these regressive programs that have been here all this time. It could come in the form of dreams where we're given the knowledge It could come in a multiple of different ways. It could come in one or all of them. We just don't know yet. You know, we're just now beginning to learn how to stand on our feet and see all this crap that's been going on around us that we did not know about. The best way to make a real decision based on a path or a circumstance that we find ourselves in is to have as much information as possible. Ideally, all the information. Okay, if you have a sliver of the information, how can you possibly make the right decision? It's a guess. So what we need is the information. We need to know the past and the present and the probabilities of our future based on the decisions that we make. That's called empowering us as a race to make these decisions, to move forward. And I truly believe humanity's there. We're ready for this. I think there's a lot more of us than we realize. It's just a lot of people are afraid to talk about it because they're afraid of the label. Nut job, conspiracy theorist, you know, head case. So, it could come from our own Space Force. We just don't know. I think we're very close to things beginning to kick in gear in that direction. Really, really close. Like eminently close to that knowledge starting to spill out. I mean, you know, the Navy's releasing UFO footage. You have the Israeli scientist who's talking about stuff. You have other ministers of defense from Canada talking about stuff. So they've begun this thing. You just have to understand the situation that the government finds themselves. For 70 years, they have screwed everybody over saying this was bullshit. And it turns out they're the fucking liars. And they're trying to figure out, how do we do this and save face? Well, they're never going to save face with this because they ruined lives, they destroyed families, they took people out, all to hide fucking technology that they were reverse engineering from star people. So they could use it for a breakaway society or as a military weapon. Okay? CDs, fiber optics, that was all an afterthought when they realized, oh, wait a minute, there's real cops out there. They're not going to let us get away with this shit. Hello. So, they're going to do the best they can. There'll be a breakthrough at some point. It may be Trump. It may be someone else. I don't know. It could be they just make an appearance. Hello. Just wanted you to know we're here. And, oh, by the way, here's cures for cancer. By the way, here's how to increase your food source tenfold. Here's free energy. Well, we already have most of that anyway. It just, I don't know how it's going to unfold. Those cards are still being held very, very close to the chest. Because we're not at the point yet where we've eliminated all the threats completely. That's ongoing as we speak. So, and to those who hate the United States of America, we're at the forefront of this movement forward for the planet and for humanity. We just are. So you can either get on board or go F yourself. And that's exactly how I feel about it. Okay? I'm sure China would love you. The CCP. The Chinese people are wonderful people. They've been screwed over as well, just like everyone else. They want to be free too. And ultimately they will be, because that's the movement of energy, that's the movement of consciousness is towards freedom. It just isn't happening fast enough for everybody.
There is good info out there about the counterculture coming out of Laurel Canyon being, at least in part, a CIA psyop. The Beatles first came to the US a short time after JFK was shot. This is called the British invasion. In light of the US corporation being owned by the Crown, am I reading too much into this?
I don't know. I don't know. Could there be truth in it? Yeah, certainly. But for any parent who has teenagers, you know for a fact that you can't control what they do. You cannot control what they think, no matter how much you think you want to or you try to. They have their own way. The 60s and the 70s were incredibly unique. They changed the consciousness of the planet dramatically. Do I think it was a step backwards? No, I don't. Because every generation has their own take, their own spin on what it is they see or they hear or what they think. Each generation is writing their own chapter. I don't see that changing. I think what we need to work on or focus on is, okay, these are the things that work. Family, spiritual need, food production, the environment. These are the things that we need to focus on consistently for future generations. I think a lot of that conversation has been manipulated and suppressed, along with technologies that could have moved us along much further. We really should be 400 years technologically and spiritually than where we are today. That's a fact. You know, we can't limit it just to the British invasion. You know, there were a lot of other influences here, terrestrial and non-terrestrial influences here, all involved in the manipulation. So we need to keep that all in perspective. Okay? We do. We have to keep that all in perspective. And you know, 20 years from now, 25 years from now, all of our history is going to be rewritten. And it's going to be something. It's really going to be something. What we have to do is just move on. As truths are being revealed, we absorb it, we integrate it, and we move forward. And that's with every truth, every piece of history, all of it. We integrate, we come to a place of recognition, and then we keep moving forward. That's what we have to do, is to continue to move forward. And there are going to be moments where we're going to have a lot of righteous anger and a great deal of sorrow. There will be places where, in order to move forward, we need to forgive. So those are going to be challenging times for everyone. But what's important is that we continue to move forward. We have to move forward. We have a lot of catching up to do. And that doesn't mean blindly. And this is why I caution everyone about the extraterrestrial presence. This is about us, humanity. This is not about them. And I cannot stress this enough. The benevolents want to help. They want to mentor. They want us to get it. Because we have a lot to offer the whole. You see, we have a lot to offer. But we've got to do the walking. We have to empower ourselves and then walk the talk. They don't want to babysit. They have their own thing going on, their own self-discovery, their own ascensions, their own challenges within their own race. So what we need to do is we need to take all this information we're going to be getting, put it into perspective, and figure out, where do we belong in the grand scheme of things? Where do we belong? And then we got to move forward. We got to own that place, and we have to move forward.
Is solar minimum what the climate change is really all about? It seems to me all of these distractions are diverting to what's actually happening with our solar system and blocking our ability to properly prepare, creating a order out of chaos. The Daigle report 2017 made it pretty clear that the cabal wants a significant body count. It has just been monumental to just scratch the surface to understand our real history, and now it seems that we may really need to form communities to get back to Earth. Thoughts? Thoughts? Thoughts?
I said years ago we were going to go into a mini ice age. Now, we hear a lot about climate change, and you know, I am so going to get into trouble here. The Earth's atmosphere is changing. The Earth's climate is changing. But so is Mars. So is Jupiter. So is Saturn. So is Neptune. So is Uranus. Venus. All of the atmospheres of all the planets in this solar system are changing. Is that because of greenhouse gases? No, because it's bullshit. Is it because of SUVs? No, because it's bullshit. It's because of outside sources. We are crossing the galactic plane. We are passing through a huge plasma field or Oort cloud or photon field. This interacts with everything. Everything is color, light, and sound. When the vibration and the frequency changes, everything changes. It adapts. That's life. That's life. The physical world changes to frequency because it's all color, light, and sound. We have been so snowed and bamboozled by bullshit. It is just so frustrating. It is just so frustrating. Life changes. When frequencies change, things become extinct. They die off. Other things take their place. Life reemerges in different forms. It adapts. Life always finds a way. To think that it's going to be this way forever is ludicrous. That's just not how it is. It's not that way anywhere. Anywhere. Okay, we have been fed bullshit that this is the way it is, and anything that deviates outside of that is our fault, and therefore we need more control, more restrictions, and we need to be punished because of life changing. You see, this is why we need our history, so that we can understand what the archaeological, geological record have been telling us. Not someone's interpretation who wants to control everything and everyone. Okay? Their intentions are devious. They're narcissistic. The earth shifts. She changes on her axis in order to give parts of her a rest. Live in Antarctica. What do you think's underneath it? Forests. Okay? An ancient forest is what's underneath it. What's going to happen when she shifts? Antarctica will move and will get more and more direct sunlight, and therefore she will melt and life will come back. Other parts of the planet will form ice, probably. And those parts of the planet will take a rest. It will be in a state of rest so that she can replenish it, she can heal it, whatever she does. The population will migrate to those other areas that are warmer so we can continue to live. This is the cycle of life, folks. Or we will move to another planet or colonize other planets to accommodate our population. There's all kinds of things that can go on. We've had free energy for 100 years or more. They've just suppressed it. For this, for money, for control, for domination, because they're narcissistic psychopaths. I have a lot of charge on this. My God, I got such a charge on this. And what really upsets me the most is that people don't do the research and they keep listening to this nonsense. They just keep listening to this nonsense. Everything changes. We need to adapt to the change and thrive with the change. That's what we have to do. That's what it is. Our frequency is changing on the planet and our bodies are beginning to change. Do we shut down? No. We're learning to adapt. We're learning to deal with it. We're learning to expand with the frequency. Why would it be any different with the planet, with the earth? The lie is that we have to remain the same. We cannot change. That's nuts. That's nuts. They don't want us to change because they want to have control. and manipulate us so we have to remain the same? Who thinks that's a good idea? Why would we be listening to them? After everything we already know about the corruption, the enslavement, human trafficking, pedophilia, suppression of technology, healing technologies, why would we be listening to them at all? You think they're going to tell you the truth about the environment? They lie about everything because it's all about control.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.